What's up, YouTube? I'm Brett from Rants or Us. As always, guys, if you enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. We're on the road to 1,000, and we hope you guys will help us get there. Alright, so today I'm going to be talking about the evolution of the Simpsons. It's late at night. I come across this CBR article about kind of the evolution of Homer Simpson and how he used to not just be this bumbling idiot that the show now portrays him as. And I kind of wanted to give my thoughts on this because my wife is a huge Simpsons fan. And I'll admit, I like The Simpsons. I don't like it as much as maybe I used to. But you know, when you're going on 30 years of the same stuff, it's hard to find any show that is hitting its marks after that long a period of time. But I wanted to give my takes on why I believe that there was a change in Homer Simpson. And I believe it was because of our modern taste. What is accepted in modern day. And I feel like you can kind of relate this to other shows that have come after The Simpsons and have almost kind of taken The Simpsons' place. American Dad, you have Stan that does the dumb things, where that you have Francine as being stupid but still kind of the more realistic one. You have Marge Simpson in The Simpsons as being the more realistic one. You have Peter Griffin in Family Guy being the unrealistic character that needs Lois to go and save him or to bring him back to reality. It's a certain modern taste to it, femininity, or I would say a level of feminism that is brought into it that has changed Homer Simpson as a character. And it's almost kind of sad because when I go back and I watch the very first episodes of The Simpsons, Homer Simpson was a really flawed individual. A flawed individual who worked his tail off to make a living for the family that he loved. Yes, was he a drunk? Yes. But, you could almost kind of let that part of him go, because at the end of the day, when he went home and he made mistakes to his family, they were heartfelt mistakes, and he tried his hardest to amend them. But I think it was around season 8 is when The Simpsons really started to change when it come to at least Homer Simpson's character. The show stopped portraying that flawed individual that cared deeply about his family and was trying to always eventually make up for his mistakes, to this character that was just a goof, that was there for running punchlines and things along those lines. And then you can almost say Bart Simpson kind of turned into that as well. But as far as Homer is concerned, I think it kind of speaks to kind of in America what is acceptable. Like I said, we could have never had Marge Simpson or Lisa Simpson being the lovable oafs. That would have been sexist. And we would have, and fans, and maybe rightfully so, would never have accepted that. But they would accept Homer Simpson, Bart Simpson, Peter Griffin, Stan Smith, all those characters as being the idiots, the ones that don't think for themselves, the ones that need to be brought in to be, the ones that could never think for themselves, the ones that are constantly making mistakes. And it's kind of sad. And the more I got to thinking about it, I'm like, you know what? I'm doing a video over this and just see if anybody else has kind of noticed that progression, or I would say evolution of this character, or maybe you could say de-evolution of this character, because he turned from a character that actually had meaning and a point to him to being a character that was just there for jokes. And was just there to screw up so that his wife could or his wife or his daughter could somehow save the day. Have you noticed in the Simpsons where you no longer have Bart even playing a role as being a character that is redeemable, almost sorts. Like he's there to make a mistake, and then he might feel bad about it because his mom or Lisa or some female character is making him feel bad about it because they're smarter. He's the dumb one, and I'm almost kind of sad about that. And the more I think about it, the more I realize is, wow, these characters that we love, these characters that we grew up with, are no longer the characters that we grew up with. They are characters that fit a specific mold. And all these characters of any sitcom, if you really think about it, it's not just animation that you see this. You'll see this in any sitcom. Last Man Standing is a good example of it, where you have a character that, even let's say Last Man Standing, he thinks for himself, but at the end of the day, he, because of his wife's feelings, his daughter's feelings, he has to bend to those feelings, to their emotions, to their feelings, to their point of view in life. Homer Simpson is that way. Like I said, all these other characters are that way. It's becoming a trend that if you are a male character, you have to give in to the matriarchy, basically, because the patriarchy is bad. And that's really sad. The more I got to thinking about it, the more I was like, you know what? That kind of ruins some of these shows for me, because you see this trend, unless you're just really just sitting there watching all these shows in their entirety, you probably wouldn't catch on to it. But I basically, let me just put it this way. If there's an animation domination show that's coming on, or an animated series on Fox or any of these other places, I basically can almost tell you the way the male characters on that show are going to act. They're going to be the punchlines. The females will never be the punchlines. That is sad, because that shouldn't be allowed in our society. The way I kind of look at it is that the males are the stupid ones, and the females are the smart ones. It should be on a character by character basis, that each one of these characters have their flaws, and that we focus on those, and then they have a learning experience, and then we as fans have this warm feeling inside because they maybe see their wrongs or their faults, and they make up for it in some form or fashion. That's great television, but that's not the television we have anymore. Television that we have is where these male characters are buffoons, and it's only up to the female characters to save the day. So we have these characters that are they're put into specific places in this show as just for laughs, and to me that's so crazy. It's sexist to me. But if you bring it up, you're the sexist. It's like me just as a husband and a father. It would be like looking at me if I was a television show and just being like, that guy's got to be the punchline to everything. That it can't be the wife, it can't be my daughter, it has to be me and my son that has to be that. That to me feels so wrong. But it's a part of our society. And it's so strange how our society has taken an iconic figure like a Homer Simpson and turned him into nothing more than a punchline just because of his gender. Even though he's not even a real person, it's just because of his gender that we've turned this character into what he is right now. And that's just my thoughts on it. I was I don't know. I know it's not a profound thought that I'm having here when it comes to this, but it's a something that I felt like maybe I needed to bring out there to see just how many people out there just feel that exact same way. Am I alone in this? I know I can't be. I know there's even been things that my wife has even brought out about Homer Simpson, of where he's just a little bit too silly now. He's not. He doesn't have a role anymore in the Simpsons other than the guy that just makes the bad mistakes that have to be cleaned up. He's no longer that family man that's trying to do or the flawed family man that's trying to uh, live his flawed life, but to do the right thing for his family. He is a hindrance to his family. You see that in later episodes where Lisa's ashamed of him, or where Marge is ashamed of him, and then therefore she's ashamed of her family. She's ashamed of marrying him. Lisa's ashamed of having him as a father. But it never works as the other way around. Um, and the only reason, and well, wait, I take that back. There was one instance where Lisa was ashamed of her mother, but she was ashamed of her mother because her mother was a housewife. That was what she was ashamed of. So, still, there's that narrative that's going around. Well, if you're a housewife, then you haven't lived up to your potential. Even though, you know, you're shaping lives. What is the difference between a housewife or a house husband that's shaping the life of their family? But yet we praise teachers for doing that, but we don't praise the man or the woman that is raising the kids that is shaping their lives. They don't get that respect that they deserve, and that to me they've earned. I feel like Homer Simpson doesn't get that respect. I feel like a lot of these animated characters along those lines, like a Peter Griffin, like a Homer Simpson, like a Stan Smith of American Dad, or even Bob's Burgers. I feel like those guys don't get the respect they earn, and they're only punchlines simply because of the society that we live in, not because they fit that role as a character within that show, only because society deems them that. So therefore, writers feel that is the only acceptable way to write them. That is sad, my friends, and that is something that needs to stop. Because it's a hindrance. We look at these characters and animated characters, or just characters in a show, and we demean those characters, and then we look in real life, and then we demean those characters in real life as well. And that is where that becomes really devastating to a society as a whole. But that's my take on it, guys. Let me know how y'all think about it. That was just my thoughts on it. I just wanted to bring that out, see if anybody else out there had a same mindset on it. And I do want to mention that, hey, guys, we're an upcoming channel here on YouTube. And, so if you do enjoy our content, please hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you'll be the first one to see our videos once they're uploaded. Leave a like if you can, if you do enjoy our content. Alright, guys, y'all take